Alright, so if I'm speaking honestly, guys, I'm still going for the Winter Banner. I'm going to spark for Altina, because I just think she's that good. And while that... Let me ask you guys that first. Of the two banners, the New Year banner and the Winter banner, which one do you prefer? And the reason why I bring this up is because they did it very differently. For the Winter banner, they gave you the sparking on Special Heroes, which is not normal.
It's a cool banner and has some awesome art, but if you're not going for the duo hero, then maybe it's a skip.
I think you got it. Most of you guys are immediately saying Winter and Winter and Winter and Winter, or none. Well, it's fair enough if you say none. That's fine. But yeah, like that's what I kind of expect as well. That makes sense to me perfectly. Because this new format makes better usage of your orbs, but if none of the heroes has you interested anyways, like, you know, you wouldn't go for it. So that makes sense. Though with that said, I still think it's a pretty interesting banner. It feels like it's not fair to like write it like this, but it feels like a dancer banner, doesn't it? Right? But it's not just a dancer banner, because Velouria and Kaden are actually pretty good. It's just the problem is, well, the dancers will take the focus of it. Plumeria, not just the way she looks, but she's a pretty interesting colorless dancer. Considering the last time we had one was what Dancer Nephany, right? It's been a while. And of course, dual Peony. If she ranks at 190 BST, we're about to see her everywhere. Well, at the higher ends of the game, because Wills will just pull for her. And we're going to about to see her in Ether Raid's defense, because she's just going to be amazing there as well. So it's going to be interesting, but it just honestly feels like a dancer banner. Because I don't think you need Kaden. Kaden's interesting. He's going to have probably mediocre attack, but a lot of speed. And it's because of his weapon, he's going to make up for a lot of the missing attack. And so he's going to actually hit pretty decently hard. But, you know, you don't necessarily need a damage dealing beast cav unit, right? So, and then if you go on and you come down to like Velouria. Velouria is interesting, but you got to be within 2 range of her to like fully enable her kit. You need to be within 2 ranges to get the attack speed -6, and of course the accelerated special cooldown. So it's nice, but it would have been really awesome to use her as a Gale Force hero. But because she kind of forces you to be tethered, you could even make the argument that old Velouria is better. And of course, yeah, this dancing ability is probably the biggest game changer in the game right now. A dancer capable of dancing twice, or a refresher capable of refreshing twice is huge. You can make so much happen with this. And it's not just because she's refreshing, but she's giving the ability for you to teleport to nearby allies. So it's not just an extra turn, but it's extra stats, extra movement, and of course extra turn. Like, you can do a lot with that. You know, I think the thing that catches me the most from this banner, aside from dual Plumeria being probably one of the best dancers refreshers in the game, is the art. I think the art is like S tier. New Year art always gets me to me. I've always been a sucker for kimonos, for males and females. It's just, there's something about, like, okay, it's super weeby to admit this, but like, I want to try one day. If I ever visit Japan, I would totally try on a kimono. I've seen it in animes and whatnot since I was like a kid, so I've always been wondering like how that really feels. Anyways, why are we even talking about that? Alright, but yeah, with that said, do you guys think dual Plumeria is our best refresher in the game? Because I think it's really hard to hold it, because I think you can make an argument for like Peony for being the best refresher in the game, right? But the problem with that is now, why would you go for Peony when you have dual Peony, you know? So, and then of course Legendary Azur is still really good, but Legendary being a Water Blessed hero, she has her own restrictions. The extra movement is nice, but sometimes you don't really need it. What did I just witness, says Casey? You just witnessed, like, I don't know how to feel about this banner. Half the banner feels, it just doesn't feel like it's a necessary banner. It looks really, really good. But yeah, it's just, like, at the end of the day, a refresher is a refresher. Like, if they can just refresh, you're already happy with it. Unless they add something incredibly special to it, which is what dual Peony does, but yeah, at the end of the day, like, you don't ever really need another refresher. Unless you're a new player, then. And in terms of Velouria and Kaden. I don't think they're absolutely special or absolutely game changing or anything like that. I'm surprised. I feel a lot more muted about this banner than last year. Last year's New Year banner I actually found was pretty exciting. We did get Close Ward, and Close Ward is pretty interesting in the fact that it will now take away variable damage from staffs. Or let me word it correctly. Foes that calculate damage using lower of foes defense or res. Wait, what? Unit cannot realize foes range disables foes skills that calculate damage using lower of foes defense or res. Yeah. What about last year's New Year heroes though? It's just last year was pretty game changing. Like, do you guys remember when New Year Alphonse was launched? I still remember. I was so upset. I was just like, I hate Alphonse, yet he's so stupidly good, I kind of have to go for him, is how I felt. Alphonse is still one of the best heroes in the game, Dual Alphonse. And I thought it was really interesting for them to have damage.
I hope this double up with the units from last year's banner doesn't become a trend for other special heroes banners after this one.
Wait, I want to hear the rationale for that, because this new banner having 6% plus 2 and essentially 8%, at least that's what I'm looking at it as. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, right? Otherwise, it'd be 4% for the remaining 2 heroes and it'd be split between the 2, which a lot of people would be pretty upset about. So, but yeah, in terms of like Dual Alphonse, I think he's a game-changing character. And then of course our last year's Beast heroes all had damage down, right? One was based on res, one was based on speed being Leaf, res being Selkie. They were interesting heroes. And Anna was interesting too, like archer debuffer, and she had high res, high speed. Like she was interesting as well. I don't know, last year blew me away more than this year. I actually can't even like think about what kind of banners they're gonna put out at this rate because it's not making any sense anymore. Like this was completely unpredictable. If you guys had to guess for New Year heroes, like who would they have been? Because I will tell you now, I wasn't gonna guess any heroes at all. But I guess you could kind of say because of last year with, you know, the dual hero being from Heroes, there could have been a chance for it to be that again, but yeah, I didn't see it. New Year Regan, I think that would have been too early. I think we'll see Regan with a special form, of course, guaranteed within the next year. Because I think all the OC characters that we got for free got a New Year, got a Special Heroes form. Yeah, New Year Air Tamari was really cool.
There's only 3.
Huh?
That's not difficult. There's only what now? 3, 4.
3, 4 what?
Now with Regan, 3, 4 free OCs.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but they've completely established because every OC has gotten a Special Heroes form.
Specifically New Year's.
Yeah, so I think it's guaranteed.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for. Is
I
New
like
Year's
the
is going to be
banner,
for
even
that.
if it's not what I would have expected. It's nice to see characters with no alts get some love, and I'm happy for the people who like this banner and I'd rather not spend my time complaining and being bitter about it.
Oh, I'm definitely not bitter. I'm just not blown away. I think Plumeria is amazing, but I'm not like, because I still think I'm headed towards the same direction I was headed towards before, which is I'm doubling down and trying to get that Winter Altina.
I'm still probably going to do that as well. Though that said, I think that, yeah, Plumeria brings a lot to the table. Velouria is actually amazing, honestly.
If you can stay within 2 spaces, that's the interesting part. I think it gives you like another option away from like...
Well, it's also dual phased, unlike your Skoogle, which is, I think, the interesting part.
Right. That's the part I kept pointing out because I do think that's really interesting. I'm just not sure.
Of course, it's slaying Wudao, as all Beast Infantry tend to be. So the damage output there is, especially with, I think she's colorless still. The damage output is, or no.
Wait, I don't think
blue,
she's colorless.
right?
Yeah.
She's blue. No, it's Plumeria that's colorless. The potential though is still quite there, especially if you support her with herself, because then it's colorless.
Oh, that's actually interesting. Velouria would actually be the best usage, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
you'd be
that.
able to you'd be able to instant charge like Bonfire or something like that. With Time's Pulse, you can instantly charge Ignis, things like that. And if you go with Infantry Pulse, making your base Velouria the higher HP, you could technically set up a turn 1 Gale Force on New Year's Velouria.
Okay. That is actually interesting.
You don't even need Infantry Pulse to be able to do that.
It depends. 2, 1. No, it's gonna depend, but I mean, like turn 1, especially with the fact that it's slaying, and then you can go from there to keep it set up.
Okay, well, you guys just hijacked everything. I was just like, oh wow, today it's gonna be different because there's nobody here. I'll just answer your questions, and then within 10 minutes, you guys are here. Great.
Yeah.
Welcome, you two.
Little
Thanks.
delay.
Yeah.
Yep.
No problem. Sorry about that.
Velouria is absolutely insane when it comes to support because her weapon is Joint Drive Breath.
Yep. And of course, it still has that sweet attack speed rain effectively in it. So, bulk
That's
is
only for her, not her support partner, though.
Of course. I mean, that's fair. It's interesting as it's not speed, so her damage output is going up. But I think what they're going for is making Velouria into a tank of sorts, which is interesting.
The only thing I hold against her is that you have to be tethered, which means Gale Force teams are a lot harder to enable.
Unless it's the Wings of Mercy Gale Force composition.
Yeah, if she's the follow-up unit, that's fine.
Which, I mean, that's what Velouria was originally doing in the first place. Base Velouria would be the follow-up.
Well, it didn't have to be that way, because it was also -2 cooldown herself. So it didn't have to be that way. Like, she could be the starter.
True.
Yeah.
Alright. Also, I love how she has that little accessory on her. Totally looks proper.
It's cute.
It's cute.
Also, can we take a moment to just highlight how much value there is in fodder on Velouria?
It's DC null follow-up, yeah.
It's
Like,
concise, simple, and yet so appealing.
The best value for infantry fodder you could ever ask for.
DC null C.
Well,
depending?
No C Disrupt is significantly more niche.
well, okay, I don't know about that. Null follow-up for me, only in certain situations do I want it. Same thing with null C, I agree with that.
Joint Drive from Corrin.
Okay, fair enough. But you still got to do some extra pathing to get there. Like, Velouria is so concise for fodder, and it's entirely self-contained. That's the main thing I'm going for on that.
It's very good fodder, even though I personally don't always have a use for no follow-up. It's kind of just the skill that you throw around, and it gets a lot of use no matter what. Even if it doesn't have a particular aim.
Right. The only time I've like specifically gone out of my way to get null follow-up was for Zane. And it didn't quite work out. So
I mean, I got it on Legion, and while I still think to this day I prefer damage reduction, null follow-up has caused a lot of people trouble and has given me a lot of boons.
Right.
So can't really complain about that either.
So I will just say null follow-up when you find yourself in a situation where it's necessary, you always want it. But then when you find yourself in other situations, you're just like, it's doing nothing.
Yeah, why do I have this B slot?
Right. So I'll say it's a coin flip. It depends on the person.
The meta is getting more follow-up heavy these days and impact heavy. I think that no follow-up stuff is going up, especially with like the existence of Bramimond. If you have to deal with anything in the Dark Season, you're gonna want that.
Sure.
Yep.
The thing is, Bramimond might still win. Like, you might still not be able to handle him. He's that good.
Maybe. I won't argue with that. His bulk is just insane.
Right.
Though that said, you can't do Sturdy Impact, you can't do Void Tome, all that follow-up goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
There are two big reasons I use no follow-up on my melee carries for Aether Raids, though, and those two reasons are Eliwood and Bramimond.
You know, I was actually surprised the other day. It was just like, how come I'm not fighting more Elliwoods? Of course, I run Young Marth in my team, so I don't really care too much if they do run it, but I'm just surprised I don't see it more often. The thing is, like, Yeah, okay. Well, the thing is, like, whenever like we talk about ether raids, and whenever I see other people's ether raid teams, like, there's always an Eliwood. But like when I just go into ether raid matches, I don't really find them that often, which is the weird thing to me.
I think it's in part, maybe it has something to do with some people just not knowing. But more realistically, he takes 352 and doesn't really hit his stride without Resplendent as much.
That's also true.
Or
Not
merchants.
everyone might.
Yeah. The level of investment needed to get Eliwood to his peak is relatively steep, but he is still the most available sword cav that's going to be threatening on that sort of level. When you look into other sword cavs, though, you've got other ones that would also be very useful, or that would make null follow-up very useful in Sigurd and Nightcrawm.
Right. But
Right.
the Nightcrawm, I've never even seen one.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
That investment's even worse.
But
the thing with
theoretically,
Eliwood is,
yes.
Yeah. Eliwood's super available, but take investment. Whereas you could take a base slice of and just throw it in the team.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have her. And, But as soon as you get that 5-star, you're done. Unlike Eliwood, where it's like you can get 20 Eliwood, but you have to you have to commit the feathers and the fodder, and possibly the Fey Pass.
Yeah, it's even worse now. So I hope whoever wanted Eliwood got him already, because the extra cost is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. It took me so long to get to that point.
You know,
but
yeah, I was like,
once you hit the stride.
Yeah, okay, I still remember when we were talking about Eliwood, and you're just like, actually, I don't even, like, he's, like, not even merged or something. I was like, what?
Yeah, didn't even refine him for his Blazing Durandal. He didn't even have Blazing Durandal at the time.
That's so sad.
So that's just, took so long to get back to that point. I understand where some people are coming from.
Right. But the thing I wanted to talk about was just, like, oh, crap, now I forgot it.
Did it round back around to Velouria in any way? Or did no follow-up?
You know what? Forget it. Oh, no, it's about the Fey Pass. I was just like, maybe the Fey Pass should have just been like, hey, you get a selection of at least 2 heroes. Why don't they just, like, let you nullify one of those for a pass hero? Because I feel like that's be more valuable for a lot of players. Like, trading one of the new hero slots. Like, instead of picking this month's new hero, you get one of the old heroes. Because I think
that wouldn't be
more
half bad.
Yeah, because it's still just a hero being picked up, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's more, it's pushing the whole, you get it now, you get it, or you have to put in more
Yeah,
later.
it's the FOMO thing.
Yeah. It's a serious FOMO thing.
That word's still so funny. Anyways, this banner, for me though, it's honestly all about Peony. Just because I still remember the day.
You said Plumeria the first, and I was kind of confused.
Huh?
You said Plumeria the first time around, and that's why I was kind of confused. Like, that was your focus?
Oh, really? Oh, I
yeah, at the start.
Maybe I misspoke. Okay, anyways, it's about Peony because I still remember the time when she beat my butt. When she beat my butt on when I was just like, whoa, hold on, it's the Peony on Ether Raid's defense. This person must have no idea what they're doing, and then all of a sudden I'm dead. Like, oh.
All of a sudden the whole team is warping everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in defense, where basically the entire team's going to be in those 2 rows anyways. Yeah, it's not very unlikely that for example, Restore Trap could result in the entire team getting hit for Gentle Dream.
Yeah, and this is the reason why I'm like so much more on board on this, because like nowadays it's even harder to commit yourself to light Peony, like Light Blessing Peony on an Ether Raid's defense, because the amount of lift you could possibly lose if they do solve you is so astronomical. Like, it's too dangerous to take it, I would say.
Yeah, and especially nowadays, or soon, when lift becomes much more important to keep low on the losses, yeah, I wouldn't be one to take a light mythic on defense ever.
Right, but now it doesn't matter.
Yep. Now I mean, granted, it's not a mythic dancer, and granted, it's easy to isolate, but who cares? This is much more reasonable.
Sephiron exists with odd recovery.
Yeah, no kidding.
There are ways around it, but it's not guaranteed. But I get where you're coming from. The other big thing is because she sets up duel's hindrance perfectly, and this is probably your best way into duel's hindrance, because not everyone could afford to go down the New Year Alphonse path, but you just need one peony, you're done. You're ready to stop it.
Yeah,
S,
very
T, O, and KS.
reasonable means by which to proc that without having to go out of your way.
What kind of name is that? But thank you so much, Stonks. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, stonks.
Is that actually Ho? Okay, what?
I have no idea.
I'm confused by your name, but thank you so much for donation. All right, but yeah, is there any hero in particular you want to talk about? Because I think Plumeria had me interested just because she's a colorless refresher, and we hadn't had that since Nephany.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to preface with the first unit, First Dream is honestly pretty interesting, being a much more wide-ranged version of George's Annual Maid. I honestly kind of say it's surprising in a sense that an almost side grade of a JP's weapon is on a 5-star lock like this, but it's still really good.
Yeah,
Well, it's a very good thing for a dancer to have because it's good utility there, but then there's also the fact that it does help her take hits a little bit better, especially when you combine it with attack, defense, rain, because that's a 4-point or that's an 8-point attack swing that's happening right there.
Yep. And it's like, honestly, I straight up prefer this in some ways over Plumeria's base tome. Not to say I don't like it, but it's a little bit weirder of a range to work around.
right.
And the buffs and debuffs are about the same, where Plumeria can actually abuse them herself, which I find really nice.
The 13-point attack swing with close ward factored in. And by the way, Shaymil, congratulations on calling what that would be perfectly, by the way.
He
Right.
called it? What?
Shaymil actually...
Shaymil called close ward months in advance, down to the disabling of adaptive damage.
I mean, to be fair, that's the only...
That was the only
flimsy.
variable, though. The rest
Yeah,
of it
that was the only... The rest was guaranteed.
Right.
But I am surprised that they actually went that route, but it actually makes close ward
Okay, I also
interestingly viable.
I also want to say something else. Shamil has been sending me like these skills things that he's been making every single day. So at this rate, I think he's bound to get at least one right. So
Oh yeah.
he sent me
Needless
so
to
many
say.
at this point.
Oh yeah. Shamil's predictions are always interesting to read, because I don't know if they're going to be right or wrong.
Yeah.
A lot of time they're wrong, but the one right are just, whew, wow.
Yeah. Interesting, entertaining, and when Shaymil does get it right, it's very
Mixed.
well. Yeah,
Predicting
it's
the
one of
rules.
those things where it's like, okay, that was actually really cool. Good job on that.
Yeah, and it makes the predictions all the more interesting, because then you can actually say you had preconceptions of it in advance.
It
Shamil's
makes
actually-
things fun.
Right. Also, Shamil's gotten really good at it, so it's cool to see.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as Plumeria, Close Ward's actually good, honestly.
Wait, isn't this
I'm-
good fodder? Close ward, attack, defense, rain?
Yeah, really good fodder. To whom?
Well, yeah, that's a who. Actually, that's such a weird combination.
Yeah.
Well, you can give close ward and quick riposte to Bowie, or you could give close ward and attack, defense, rain to some flyer.
I'm just trying to think, like...
Who would
have,
want
with
I
Close
have
Ward,
no idea who would actually do that.
The problem is, you have to be in the dragon meta to make this work.
And the dragon meta is almost non-existent.
In Ether Raids.
Yeah.
Which, funnily enough, makes Plumeria not the best in Ether Raids out the gate. But in Arena, it could make any ranged unit like Ileana, for example, very interesting. I think would be a good one. If you want to make an enemy phased Ileana, that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I would use this skill on.
Yeah.
But it's appealing, honestly.
I voiced it pretty early on that I had like no love for ward skills, because I just thought both. I personally just don't like either of them. If you took distant ward, for example, 100%. Just give me that distant counter. I don't care about the attack res +5.
Yeah, distant ward's kind of bad. The worst of the four.
Right, and in
By
close
far.
ward, while it's cool you get to kill the adaptive damage, dragons are getting more and more uncommon, I would say.
I mean, it is nice for the mages of the meta, I guess.
Right.
But the mages also in arena, and dragons are in arena, not. So you kind of have to do one or the other.
Right.
I think that mages in general are starting to get more common than archers and dagger units anyway, with some exceptions. So there is some merit to close ward.
Yeah.
Or
even
your units.
even arena, there are a few mages.
Especially if they're going to show up in arena.
Yeah, even in arena, there are a few mages that this could be nice against. So I mean, there are options. I'm just not entirely sure if those options are worth considering most of the time.
Right.
Close ward is a skill that you would not want to use in water season, though.
Legendary Crom and Dimitri will eat that right up. Unless you want to make any. Yeah. And of course, Legendary Azur, you don't want more res against Legendary Azur. What are you doing?
Yeah, you want to bait her in. So this is a bit awkward. With all that said, though, it is interesting. I'm not actually sure if you're going to keep that, to be honest.
Honestly, I'd say probably you might, just from the perspective of making her a specialist.
Right.
But what would you really do otherwise when you're using a dancer?
I was just going to say... Right. I was just gonna say,
pottery.
chances are you don't want her to attack anyways. So if you can put her into counterattack range and she takes a hit, so be it. That's good. That's fine.
I think the big thing is that it does give her attack res +5 in enemy phase, regardless, as long as it's a mage. So this is actually, in some ways, designed to take mages even better than Plumeria base.
Okay.
Which, with the extra BST to go around with, and with attack defense rain, of course. This Plumeria will probably make a very solid mage soak by a pretty considerable margin.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna have like 40 attack, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the rest of it is just Sweet Dreams is cool and all, but sometimes
Not Gentle Dream.
Huh?
It's not Gentle Dream.
Yeah, it's not Gentle Dream. Yeah, because it's just stats, and sometimes you rather have the movement.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stats, honestly. If you can actually get this right,
It's a huge stat swing, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
it's
Spectrum
stats.
cantrip can be very nice.
Yeah, I won't argue with that. But honestly, I still prefer the other 3 to Sweet Dreams of the Álfar dances. So,
Yeah, it's cool, but it's not game changing. So in terms of being a refresher, I like the fact that she has a better combat role than a lot of other refreshers. But it's in terms of the refreshing ability itself and support ability from first stream, like it's good. It's actually really good. It's just not crazy enough to for me to sway me to go for it.
it's a little specialized, not gonna lie. But that's not always a bad thing, I guess.
What it is telling me though is another attack defense rain, to be honest, because that's the hard thing to get.
Oh yeah. And I mean, even if you're not doing close ward attack defense rain, you can do QR, which is honestly so weird to see QR on a 5-star lock in 2021.
Yeah, I still can't believe this is 5-star lock, but cool, Ice, you got it.
This is the first quick post ever since Picnic Leo. Not sure why, but
God,
I
it's
guess
been almost 2 years.
yeah.
It's so weird.
I guess you can path a quick post attack defense rain 3 for any tank, like Claude, for example.
Or Ashnard, but why?
Or Ashnard.
Oh man.
Feels bad that I already have attack defense rain on him. I mean, I'm QR.
Alright, well, anyways, interesting Plumeria, but not a game changer, I would say.
Yeah.
It just
She
gives
is our
you
first flying bow dancer, though, so...
right.
Yeah, there is merit to her, and I think I will actually, if I had her, I'd probably appreciate her for mages.
I think new players would appreciate this more. For veteran players with a bunch of refreshers already, I don't think it's a big enough change to go for.
Yeah. Yeah.
We still don't have colorless dual flying, by the way, as funny as
And
that
we probably
is.
never will. Because why?
At this point, probably not.
I think like a year down the line they'll throw it in for some reason. They've done that in the past for weird skills.
Oh yeah, when they finally introduced what was it? They introduced I mean, Jeffra's solo on Duma came out almost a year after solo started being introduced.
I don't even want to think about it. All right.
Yeah.
We've already spoken about Velouria a lot. Good fodder for distant encounter and all follow-up. It's questionable which heroes would want it, but I can think of a couple immediately, so it's not that hard. It's just, do you want to do that? Because Renewed Fang is actually pretty interesting. Special trigger cooldown count -1, so that Soul, for example, drop to 2 cooldown. If units within 2 spaces support ally, attack speed -6 on foe, and grant special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack during combat. Per attack during combat means for both getting hit and for you attacking, so she charges really fast specials. Additionally, special cooldown charge +1 per attack to support partner within 2 spaces, which also means you absolutely have to deploy her with a support partner. So whoever she is with, you have to always use those two together, or she's nothing special then. But yeah, you have to.
I mean, she has a Wudao slang still.
I know, but
with all of that in mind, though, she's going to be spamming out a damage boosted soul every time she gets hit, unless Garter is in play or she's against a Byleth.
yeah, you know what? I think the intention here is like run her with just use like it's weird because most times when I'm using Velouria or thinking of Velouria, she's the support partner. Like that's the other hero that's supposed to shine, but in this case, it's Velouria who's supposed to do everything.
Yeah,
It's an arguable thing. She's capable of swapping out with whoever her support partner is, if her support partner is more combat oriented.
right. It's definitely designed for Velouria to be a super tank of sorts. Though there are certain units I think which could actually really benefit, especially from player phase breath. I'm just not entirely sure how often the player phase component's going to be useful when you have to keep that drive range.
Yeah, the tethering thing is, yeah, the tethering gets me drives me a bit insane, but that's it.
Oh yeah, that would actually be really, really good here. As a support partner, that is, to Velouria. Because then Layla... Because you know Layla is going to double, let's be honest. She can basically proc a 2 cooldown special, or 3 with Time's Pulse with Velouria. Swap with Velouria, and then Velouria from there can just ink with Breath. Yeah?
The thing
Full use to your support.
The thing I'm thinking about is just like, so is she just gonna be used like essentially the same idea as like Brave Ike and Brave Lucina combination then?
Yeah, I think so. Except this time, the Brave Lucina is a useful unit on her own. Like a really useful unit on her own.
Because I actually look at this and be like, well, you're gonna give Velouria Corrin, male Corrin.
Yeah?
Yeah, male Corrin, yeah.
You could ironically also make her the Lucina and then just have Bike with her, I guess. And make 2 super tanks, if you feel like it.
Either that, or you can go for somebody else who would very much enjoy having that boosted cooldown just for spamming specials.
Mm-hmm.
Could be whoever... Basically, Velouria sets you up for having 2 carries in a quad mythic setup.
Yeah, as opposed to having a support bot and a carry.
Yeah,
Velouria
because
both.
Velouria doubles as support and potentially being a carry on her own.
Mm-hmm. Which automatically, by the way, I think you just drop attack smoke and most likely Swift Stance and you're done.
Yep. We'll have to see what her stats are like, but given it's Velouria, her defense is probably going to be... Her defense and res are both going to be a little on the mediocre side, but her res will be lower. I'm kind of interested, though, as to what her stats end up being, because that's going to be a huge part in dictating our offense.
I think her stats are really just going to be a straight upgrade of base Velouria anyway.
Well, yeah, that's what I feel like, too.
Yeah, but even then, that's what now, 10 more BST? Where Velouria already hit base 40 speed, granted 37 actually, but 40 speed with her Fang. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think I have to see more of Velouria before I fully decide, but I think that there's seriously the potential for her to be amazing.
I agree. Okay. We'll talk about her more in the future, I guess, because it really depends on her stats. That's what I'm more interested in seeing, because she has
Right.
potential because of her breath.
Right.
Attack
It's
speed
gonna-
-6 is actually insane if you think about it.
Can beasts use damage reduction? I don't think they can. No.
No. So no follow-up is pretty much by default her best B skill.
I guess if you wanted, you could make her supported with Flame. If you want to go down that route.
All right.
It's one way to do it.
Yeah, there are a few ways to do it. I still think male Corrin's probably likely to be the best option. Pretty simplistic, just jack the stats up.
Yeah, why not?
Let's not forget, close and distant guard are dual phase skills.
For reasons.
Right.
So, yeah, those are also really good B slot, C slot. And of course, joint drives.
All right, Kaden, I thought it was really interesting because they're basically giving us attack defense snag, which I'll be honest, they should have done that earlier because snags aren't as good as ruses, but they're pretty cool when you do pull them off.
They're like link skills more than anything else.
Well, yeah, as per
Okay,
Kaden, of
fair
course,
enough.
getting a link.
Which is weird because it's when I saw Kaden, I was just like, is this gonna be like another variant of Kaden? Like,
That's
another-
what I thought. I didn't read anything first.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Nope.
Oh,
we instead
boy.
get the Vassal's Blade effect with a forced 10-point swing if he's facing a healthy opponent.
yeah. So, I mean, getting into the meat of it. Dude's fast.
yeah, this is a lot.
He's gonna be fast.
different from what I expected. So Refresh Fang is basically given up on all the support functions. He's now just an offensive hero.
Think of it as a neutered version of New Year Leaf.
Okay, considering he is actually
yeah.
a beast,
For the weapon alone.
could
Yeah.
you use better wording?
No.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's
Not
just
how I intended that.
good. Okay, because he creates a huge swing in speed, but unlike New Year Leaf, there's no damage reduction, so he doesn't fully utilize it. It's just to slow them down, so he easily doubles them, and then it's just for damage.
Yeah.
Well,
It's-
it's not just that it's not that just that there's no damage reduction. It's also that there is a condition to it, and that's on both sides, and that's on both effects that he has for the stat swing and the bonus damage.
Well,
Right.
fair enough, but I don't view it as difficult, but I get where you're going.
Yeah, it's not like Leith, where no matter what, she's getting that action condition and the Vassal's Blade condition active. Though that's a 13 speed in a weapon will make him easily faster than Leith.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
But the thing with a character like this is like to get the true benefits of a character like this, you're gonna have to merge. Hopefully more than just
Yeah.
a couple of times, because otherwise he's going up against like Pan? I don't even think Pan's great, but you know. That's the
I mean, he is
character.
4-star.
Yeah, he is our 4-star drop, so that is going to make things a little bit easier.
Even
Right.
just +1, he's probably going to be about as fast as a +10 like Ellie would, with Blazing Durandal in effect. More than
Yeah,
likely, at least.
that's actually
And
how
he
I
still
look at
gets
it.
it
The
impact.
difference is ridiculous. Hatch him have
I would say that
24
he's going to be
hours.
comparable to Base Leaf.
Yeah. I mean, Base Leaf has... Base Leaf is a little easier, I guess. But that said, Kaden is... Yeah, I can see that.
For me personally, yeah, the Elliewood comparison is what I was going with in Ether Raid's defense, but it has to be a beast team. It's a bit
Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. People do that.
that takes a lot of work, but yeah, it's not a bad thing if you can pull it off.
I mean, we have... Okay, our beasts are starting to get to the point now, especially...
Okay,
with the
you
Tempest
are
unit.
biased. I've seen your team. You're a firm believer of beast.
I was. And then I got Elliewood.
Oh,
Sorry, Pan.
Well, that's even worse because you've abandoned your argument.
I did. But I wasn't going to argue in favor of Pan. Though I still think that Pan's a little underrated, at least at the time she was out.
No, I agree.
Yeah. With Rayson, Kaden, You have a pretty decent comp going already. I'm just not sure what you would go for the last 2 slots to have a 4 beast mythic plus 2 mythic comp.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to figure that out, but
I guess it's Raphael.
the reason why I like Leith in that sort of setup is because it's so hard to kill her. You always think you can until you realize, wait, I can't.
Yeah. Whereas with Kaden, you think you can double him, and you just literally can't.
But if you attack into Kaden, you're a lot more safer than attacking to Leith. That's the thing.
Right. Right. Which, I mean, that's fair, honestly, that a 5-star lock would be like this.
Right.
But, yeah. While Kaden stats are going to be pretty... first off, if we're going to get real simple here, Freya's still probably going to be about as fast, if not faster. Let's be honest. And furthermore, the consistency is not as appealing as with Leith, to say the very least. But in prospect,
he will be very interesting to see set up.
Yeah, like if he initiates into 10 speed, up to effectively 11 attack and 4 def res with impact, it's not very fun.
All right. But yeah, I think you can make some interesting things happen with him, especially if he's isolated. Yeah, especially if you have a beast team where he's isolated and you can get everything with him, and he's like, it's difficult for your opponent to attack into him. I think you got something interesting. But yeah, we'll see. I can see it already, like running him like an Elliewood rally trap kind of thing, and instead of having another dancer, it'd be like Rayson instead next to him.
Yeah. If you really want to get silly, this is the perfect time over. The
perfect what?
To cut off.
Oliver.
Oh, actually, you could make a pretty like corner Oliver with a beast team, and then he just teleports in afterwards.
Yeah,
God.
You could even do it with Raphael, so you can have infantry pulse.
Okay, so
if
maybe
you so choose.
Maybe there are some interesting options that you could possibly do. Huh.
Basically, the way I see it, the best Cavaliers to be going for, at least at the moment, are Elliewood for red, Patrine for blue, and likely Kaden for green. That's the way I'm seeing it.
Okay, fair enough. I can put Kaden in green as well. All right, cool. But yeah, finally the big Gohulu. I don't know. I don't use words like
Kahuna.
Kahuna. The fuck. The big Kahuna. Okay, it's Peony. The thing that caught me by surprise was just attack +6. Excuse me, that's crazy. Yeah. But if you think about it, it's kind of fair because it just took the attack speed portion and just put it all together of the old Peony. Which,
honestly, I think I am fine with. Attack speed +3 isn't, huge. It's good. It's really good. It saved me a lot.
But 3 points of speed can be enough to decide whether or not you're doubling or getting doubled too. So there is that too.
But it does always it can at some points just feel a little low, which is why concentrating it into attack, now you get something better than a joint drive, or even like a joint drive. You get more than that for attack, just for being within cardinal directions.
And then if you're 2 spaces or fewer away and in a cardinal direction, congratulations, you get 10 extra attack just for existing.
Yep. It's better, particularly for units that don't care as much for speed, because that speed +3 can go to waste. For example, if you're using like Hector, Brave Hector,
yes.
Why would you care about that? But while it's only 3 more attack, it's 3 more attack that will actually go to fair use on Hector. I'd say that's a pretty good trade.
Yeah, the other thing was I mentioned was Kranya. You guys always shit talk Kranya, but the fact of the matter is, with Bond and Álfar and joint drive attack, that's 10 attack, and then you could possibly have an even bigger swing with the Gentle Dream. So it's pretty nutty. Like, it fixes so many things on characters that are looking for damage.
especially if they can hit multiple times. Like Brave Weapons, for example. 3 attack is 6. Or up to 12 if it's a quad. The potential scales.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You give her to Winter Altina.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way to do it.
6 extra damage compared to regular Peony.
Right.
I'd be okay with sticking her near my Lucina, for example.
Wait, Lucina?
Yeah.
Oh!
20 extra attack when you include Sealed Falchion?
Okay.
Sure, why not?
I think you're done. I think you're done. You're already giving her Corrin. It's fine. You got enough stats.
Never enough.
Okay. But yeah, there are good options here. Anyways, that jacking up of attack is huge. And Gentle Dream, the fact that she kept it, I think that's... You know, if Ice was smart, and I think they are smart enough to check, like, replays, like, player replays, they would have noticed, like, a bunch of Peonies are being used defensively, and just because of Gentle Dream. So, they finally have just given everyone their wet dream of, like, hey, you could use her fully now. And made it even better by making her a dual hero.
Yeah. Like, everything...
Yeah, she's gonna score. She's going to score better than Duo Sigurd because of Gentle Dream.
Uh-oh.
I don't know about that. I want to see, because if they're going...
No, it's 100% how that's going to work. Because Duo Sigurd only has access to Dance, which is 200 SP, I think.
Yeah.
Gentle Dream is 400 SP.
But that's the thing. I thought that was the balancing.
It's the balancing for the fact that Sigurd's and Peony is not.
You cut out, Legion.
It's the balancing for the fact that Sigurd and Peony is not. I guess.
You cut out again explaining what Sigurd is.
And now you're silent. Okay.
That I don't know. There's been some
Dance is only 150?
Wow. That's rough.
This is why I'm saying it doesn't make sense to me, because Dual Sigurd, they balanced it out. It is not balanced here. There's nothing. It just straight up works.
I mean, it's cavalry, I think, is the big problem I would have had if Sigurd had a better dance. But, yeah. Aerobatics still makes this pretty threatening. So, I'd say it's still kind of heavily swinging into Peony's court.
Archimedes, no, don't put that evil on us.
Okay, we'll see, because I'm hesitant, because I think that's just so absurd. Peony in every mode. Can you imagine fighting this bullshit? Because it'll be more annoying than you can imagine.
I mean, at least it doesn't give Legendary Azur a run for her money in defense teams as much.
What? I think she absolutely does.
I still find that 3 movement giving more extension and range is more threatening for turn 1 in Arena than I do Gentle Dream. From the few Peonies I have fought.
Okay, well, you'll see her everywhere on every season, so just water season.
Yeah, that's going to be the part that sucks.
For arena defense, I would say Azura is a little bit more threatening. For Aetheraids defense, Peony is 100% more threatening.
That's where that's where it's going to suck. Though the duo, even if her scoring makes her a perfect arena unit. But in Aetheraids defense, this sucks.
Oh god, she comes with a perfect arena score kit too.
She does. Just slap ETH. Or, ruptured or whatever. And you're done. Yikes.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever. This is dumb. This is gonna be... I'm not looking forward to this. And also, the fact of the matter is, you saw Peony's stats, right? They're not bad at all.
Fast.
They basically... The original Peony didn't have, like, all the benefits of increased BST. Or a year, over a year of BST increases.
Yep.
And not just that, but her attack is still quite low.
That's fine, honestly. But she adds...
She's reaching... Yeah, granted, she's reaching 59 without any buffs, as long as she's adjacent to somebody, so it's not the worst, but it's also one of those things where it's like, okay, what the hell is going on here?
It's not Sigurd hitting 100 attack. I have seen that, by the way. It was terrible. It's not Sigurd hitting 100 attack, but the fact of the matter is, this is a 43 base speed green tone flyer with speed plus 7 in A slot.
Isn't it 40 base speed?
Yeah, it's 40.
Yeah,
Because
it's
of the-
40, not
Fully on
43.
weapon.
Yeah, the weapon's
Yeah,
adding
weapon.
3.
So, going off her stats in the trailer, specifically 43 base, going up to 50 with Bond, not fun. Buns are not pull off on dancers because of aerobatics and flyer formation and wings of mercy.
I've also noticed that they're starting to make it more difficult to use blue units as your carry in Aether raids because of how threatening green units are starting to get.
Excluding the dancers, such as
I would say, well, Brave Edelgard for one, put her on a defense team and she can just move wherever the hell she wants to go.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, they just have been introducing really good units, and a few of them happen to be green. But the fact of the matter is, there are 2 really good green mage dancers, and Peony and Triandra released almost back to back, and that can be quite scary in defense teams.
The weird, funky, weird thing is that it's just literally, she's literally a Triandra. So, did you really need to do it like this? But I guess it makes some sense.
She has a little more. What does she have more of than Triandra? Because she doesn't have as much attack.
She doesn't feel like Triandra at all. Like, I don't even know why she was with Triandra. Aside from the story elements, maybe, but like in terms of stats, in terms of skills, not really.
I mean, they're actually both the only speed-oriented Álfar. The other 2 are very slow by nature. It's just that Triandra exchanges, I think, res for attack, and then it's just more BST.
Yep. Going back to the subject of other threatening green units, young Merrick for one, then Thracer as always on Anima season.
Oh yeah.
Legendary Celica is plenty scary on her own. And that's just among the fastest of them.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie, blue tanks still have it rough, but I mean, all super tanks have their fair share of counters. It just happens to be that we didn't really have a great blue super tank, like great, until Hector. So those didn't really apply as much.
Yeah.
But I want to be a Hector having to take the with follow-up afterward by somebody else.
By the way, this is our first double refresher. I thought, by the way, when I first looked at this, I was like, are we getting AoE refresh? Because I could believe it, because that's a real thing in the games. Like, the Herons, for example, could do AoE refreshes. So that's what I thought I was looking at when I first saw it. But it's not that, of course. But
yeah. I mean, on the other hand, it is as close to a bard train as we're getting.
Yeah, the fact that you can use this to refresh a refresher, but nonetheless, it's just absurdly good because she's essentially acting as a double dancer.
Yep. 2 dances per turn. Well, in one turn, one of which on a refresher potentially. And they both have the same Gentle Dream applications, which is silly.
So if you just run her by herself, you essentially have 2 dancers, which is something that other people would have wanted to do.
Yep. I mean,
yep.
Yeah, the only problem is going to be adjacency. Not even like in 2 spaces. You have to be adjacent, which even Tiki doesn't have to do.
No.
Though, if your Wings of Mercy it's not the worst.
Or it's with Regan. I'm just saying, there's a few ways to play around that. It's not the worst condition.
Yeah. The only thing that sucks is that if you have to Mercy in, if you're the one having to go, you're probably just better off using your actual dance. Which at that point just kind of gets a little awkward.
Well, if you Wings of Mercy in, you can actually attack and then use it, and then dance. Which isn't bad either.
Yeah.
Or you can refresh and then use the dual skill after your unit attacks again.
Assuming they stay adjacent.
Yeah.
The manipulation is going to be a little different. Well, difficult.
It's
in some cases.
It's not completely free, but I don't think it's hard. I think it's fairly.
For the fact that it's a double dance, I think it's pretty lenient.
Because I'll be honest, keeping snag is kind of silly. I don't like snag. Like, it's just res -7. That doesn't even help all teams, you know?
Cantrip.
Yeah, it's res, isn't it?
It's res cantrip. You said snag.
Oh, sorry. What? Never mind.
Kaden.
I'm probably just saw that by mistake. No, that's what I mean. It's just res -7. So it's doesn't really do much. Like not all teams would utilize that, and it's not a big deal, I would say. So Wings of Mercy, huh?
Yeah, easily. Cantrips are just meh in general.
Yep. So if you Wings of Mercy in and you automatically trigger her bond, I think you got like a really ideal situation.
Yep. Honestly, it's very rare not to say Wings of Mercy on a dancer. Like, even when I was using, for example, Plumeria, and she comes to Sabotage Speed, it's a little better than Cantrip, and yet I still don't care.
Yeah.
Wings of Mercy.
Yeah. Same.
Oh.
All right.
So, yeah. Otherwise, Kit's great. Not looking forward to this, and yet at the same time, I am.
Mm-hmm. Also, the new banner format, it is 6+2, right? Not just 6.
Plus it's all well. Oh yeah, 6% main, and then 2% pity.
2%
Pity
off
breakers.
focus.
Because if that's what I thought it was. Because if it wasn't, that doesn't make sense. Because you just decrease the rate of getting the focus hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty much a double special heroes banner with a little bit extra added on to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hybrid of double special heroes with blah blah blah.
Hero Fest.
Hero Fest, and then Hero Fest have 8% rate. If not, it would just be Legendary Mythic in terms of 5-star rate.
Hero Fest does have a net total of 8% 5-star rate.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it's 5+3. Okay, so the reason why I like this so much is also chat. If one of you guys are pulling for green and you get New Year Leaf, and you're just like cursing this new banner, don't, because that's not how the math works. I hope people aren't going to be dumb enough to like look at it that way. Is what I'm saying. And either way, New Year
Some
Leaf is
people
great.
already are, I guarantee you that.
I'm pretty sure, but I'm just telling you, chat. Like, if you get a hero here, it's not. Chances are you would have just gotten no other hero. You know, that's how the rate works. It's better to have it this way than not. With that said,
I just realized Caden's red, and my green arguments have gone out the window. Whoops.
you forgot he was red. Oh, what?
Yeah, I kind of was still thinking of green Kaden
Oh,
earlier.
okay.
A little more competition with Elliowood, but I think he might actually be better in some ways. I'll just cut it there.
Mm-hmm.
It's dependent on the setup that you have around him, but I don't think any of our beast demotes have ever been anything close to bad, because we've got Rayson, he's a refresher. Mordecai, he's dependent on what mode you're in more than anything else, but he's also able to set up some of the biggest stat swings that you can ask for.
And I actually only seen that one time. I thought it would be more often than once, but yeah.
Links have kind of... it's partly because it's such a it's cantrip, or snag, I guess you could... Omni snag weapon, which isn't the easiest thing to...
Mm-hmm.
And Mordecai himself is so min-maxed that you can't just use him in a general sense. You may just pluck him up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
But
Then both of the beasts that are in the Grail pool so far are blue. Maybe that will continue with Keaton. I hope that trend breaks with Keaton.
I
though.
hope not, because we actually don't have a lot of good blue arena units, and Keaton's going to be infantry more than likely.
Oh.
So unless you're building Hilda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, no. If he is blue, I don't think he should be red, because that'll just be double red key.
Yeah. Then again, Velouria's blue. There might be a chance for him to be green.
All right, whatever. Anyways, the thing I wanted to get to was, which color do you think? What's your color ranking?
Immediately, I'm just going to say it's green is greater than... No. Yeah. I'm going to say green is greater than blue, is greater than colors, is greater than red.
I would swap green and blue from how Legion put it.
It's a little hard to
Ooh.
say because you're ranking Alphonse mostly versus Peony.
Actually, but I do think Alphonse is that good, so I would be willing to do that too.
I don't know. because I think Peony is just a much bigger threat in defense teams than Alphonse, even if he is a bit great on offense.
For me, the only thing I could say is like green absolutely first, and then I think blue edges out Carlos, and that's it. Like red last, that's it. Like it's actually pretty close. The first three are actually really good.
Yeah, poor red. Nothing against Kaden, but Ana being the potential pity break there is a little rough. Nothing against Ana, but ugh.
I like Ana, but yeah, it's not great.
Yeah,
Ana, I feel like Ana really should have demoted. It should have been a demote with Ana, but we got our first seasonal demote in Conrad anyway. But Ana also comes with a dual rally plus, but that doesn't feel like a particularly good reason to keep her as a 5-star lock with how overall lackluster her kit is.
She's interesting, a debuffing archer, but yeah,
Fortune Bow is pretty good.
Right.
Yeah. Fortune Bow itself is good, but the rest of her kit is extremely niche.
I don't even remember her other two skills besides Rally Plus and Fortune Bow, so there's my indicator on that one.
Okay. Anyways, will you guys be pulling?
Good question.
Good question.
I think for me, the Legendary Heroes banner and the Winter banner take priority. So that's my look.
So far, I put 4 orbs total into the Legendary banner, and I got a Plumeria. I don't feel like going back.
Okay,
Nice.
fair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now you have a chance to get another Plumeria, and a different one at that.
Correct. It's so weird. So I don't feel like going back there because I don't want to test my luck. I am currently like 15 pulls away from sparking on the Winter banner, so there will probably be some residual orbs I can use from this. But we have a new Heroes banner coming up on the 6th, 8th. One of those two.
I'm sorry, I don't think I'll ever pull on New Heroes banner again. Just because after a banner like this, if Special Heroes banners catches up to like Legendary Heroes and Mythic Heroes, it's even harder to pull on the new hero banners.
No, I mean, bias to certain games in particular.
Well,
and the Spark, big.
It has to be a favorite character then, yeah.
New Heroes banner is on the 8th. The update is on the 5th.
I was close enough.
And that update also comes with the Fallen banner rerun.
Which I will not be bothering with, by the way, but I know a lot of people will. So, to put things into perspective, we have the New Heroes banner on the 8th. Fallen banner. What, is it actually on the 6th?
On the 6th.
Huh, wait. That's interesting, because that means we would... The Forging Bonds, how would that work?
2 forging bonds at once.
I guess. Gonna be interesting. So we have the Fallen banner, we have the New Heroes banner, we have the Special Heroes banner with 6% rates. We have the Legendary Hero banner with Valina. We have the Christmas banner with Bulls. 3 of them. There is a lot to go around right now, and I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be the one that gets people going. But for me, I'm kind of on the edge. What about you, MadCrash?
A lot of bait.
Well, yeah. That's fair.
Overall, like I like the art for these New Year units. Not gonna lie about that. I would not complain at all about pulling any of them, honestly, especially Velouria, because Velouria is interesting. The Fallen banner actually is on the calendar. Well, actually, no, it's not. I was misreading something.
What?
I was completely misreading that. That was my mistake. So the Fallen banner is going to be after the Forging Bonds is done for the upcoming New Units banner. I, for some reason, read the Tap Battle rerun as being the Fallen banner rerun. That was my mistake entirely.
No problem. That helps me with some clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fallen Banner won't be a full while longer, but that is a huge,
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
people
one of those
know that.
things that, hey, we know it's coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult to deal with, honestly.
All right.
Yep.
So what about you, Nim? I know you're trying to spark on the Winter Banner, of course.
If there's anything remaining, it would probably be at the end of January if I do give it an attempt. I think the banner is interesting, but I probably prioritizing just green and blues. Another New Year Alphonse would be cool. Peony would be cool, but honestly, I don't know. I don't think it's like a completely necessary banner. And as much as I would like to use Peony in my defensive team, they could just lock her down. I think like the big brain play would be to run 2 of her or something. But yeah, I don't think I'd be able to afford that.
Not to mention the mythic stacking would be very difficult if you have double peonies.
It would be kind of awkward. So I don't know how I'm gonna try it, but I don't have a team that particularly was looking for a trap with teleportation. So if I did, I'd be jumping all over this, but I don't.
Yeah, neither do I. I guess Peony would be fantastic on my anima team, ironically, because I need a ranged flying dancer. Oddly specific, but that's the exact kind of unit I'm looking for. So if I were to get Peony or even Plumeria, I would actually really appreciate that for my defense. But it's not something I'm super concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why my thought is I might commit some to this. Split for Peony and maybe just try to get a Kaden on the way. But that's about it.
All right. What do the people say, though? All right. As it happens, are you going to pull on the 2021 New Year banner? Yes, I'm going to pull for any of these units. New Year Plumeria, Velouria, Kaden, Peony, and Triandra. I'm going to save my orbs on another banner. What's Faye? I don't know. Yes, I'm going to pull for... congratulations. For me personally, I forgot what Faye is. There you go.
Perfect. Kappa.
And I think this is probably what most people are going for. Just going to save on for another banner, because I feel like, honestly, that's a fair thing to do.
Yeah. Not as much essentials, I think, this time around. Dancers are dancers.
Mm-hmm. So 61% of you guys are not, or are some level of interest, or you don't know what Faye is. Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
but that's fair. That's fair. I'm leaning towards that as well, personally. For me, because again, Winter Banner, Legendary Banner, they take priority.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Okay, but we're not done because there's something new that they did for Ether Raids also.